I want to know something.
Okay.
Why is it that the government has CIA files on hypnosis?
Mm-hmm.
This really interested me. And I have the files right here. And then, what's it called? For the viewer watching at home, we'll post it after the show. Aiden, if you'll do the honors.
Yeah. It'll be in the description.
Basically, I'll just read you guys the titles for basically all of the CIA files, the head titles. All right, so let me start off with. We have hypnosis. Because remember on the last episode when we were talking about the MK Ultra and how they basically did mind control on people. So tell me why I stumbled upon the CIA files about hypnosis. So not only that, but we have hypnosis, transcendental meditation, biofeedback, the gateway, and the hemisync. So basically, you know how our brain has the left side and the right side. The left side is the logical side, and the right side is the intuitive side. So basically, our subconscious mind, whatever we want to manifest, is on the right side. But the thing is, the left side of the brain actually keeps guard of everything that goes on. What we see, the five senses, touch, taste, seeing, hearing, tasting, it guards all of that information from the left side into the right side, making it the reasoning, the left side is the reasoning side. But you ever get those feelings when, you just feel your gut instinct or, you have an intuition or a vision comes by your mind?
Yeah.
Basically, that's your right side giving you, a sense. And if you trust it, good things can happen because every person on this planet has a brain. And what I was researching...
Arguable. Continue.
True. All right, but the thing is, everybody is capable of much greater things. This is my word. That everybody can be greater than what they actually think. Because I say this in a sense, I feel like this physical reality is an illusion. We're actually spiritual beings. How it's always been. Because let me give you a good saying. You guys know Nikola Tesla? He said when you want to speak in terms of the universe, speak in vibrations, energies. Shit, I forgot the last one. Vibrations, energies, and frequencies. That's what it was. Because here's the thing. Everything that you hear, your brain is perceiving it. Everything. From the music to what we say, our words. What I was researching on here, what I was reading, is that whatever we speak, we manifest. So if you say, I hate myself, stupid idiot, you're speaking that to yourself, and your subconscious mind, your right side of the brain hears everything you say. Everything you say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what's it called? So if you call yourself like a stupid idiot, you talk bad about yourself, you do all these things, well, your subconscious mind, the way I see it, it kind of has its own mind. And so it's like, oh, you want to say that about me? Oh, okay. Don't worry. I won't say anything more. So it shuts off. And that's why people will feel kind of more lost in a sense. So let me go on with the titles. So you have another title, Lamp versus Laser. This one's an interesting one because it talks about how we're all beings of energy. We produce light. This light can be either a lamplight, a dim lamp light, where it just, if you were in outer space, the way I would say it, it's a dim light. Mm-hmm. Or what it talks about here, that it could be like a laser. And this laser, let me show you a little more. So let me read. So it talks about the gateway assumes that once the frequency and amplitude of the human brain are rendered coherent, it is possible to begin accelerating both so that the human mind is soon resonating at even higher vibrational levels. The mind can bring itself into synchronization with more sophisticated and rarefied energy levels in the universe. The mind, when operating at this increasingly rarefied levels, is assumed to be capable of processing the information thus received through the same fundamental matrix by which it makes sense of ordinary physical sensory input to achieve meaning in a cognitive context. Such meaning is usually perceived visually in the form of symbols, but may also be perceived as astonishing flashes of holistic intuition, or even in the form of scenarios involving both visual and aural perception. The mechanics by which the mind exercises the consciousness function will be addressed in more detail later in this paper. CIA files.
Talking about hunches, talking about gut feelings.
Intuition.
Yeah.
You get me? The government even acknowledges this. So if somebody says, "Oh, that's not true," well, tell me why the government, has done their research. This even goes back to World War II when Japan and Germany had concentration camps and they were experimenting with, the MK Ultra, but it wasn't called that. They were just experimenting on people with, trying to mind control, use psychedelics and all that kind of stuff.
Cognitive ability, basically. Seeing what the brain is actually capable of.
So if it talks about that we're beings of energy, that we can either be a lamp or we can be a laser. And this is why whenever you get in the zone, getting in the zone, that's another sense of being a laser. You know what I mean? So that's one of them. That's what really made me interested in reading more of this. Brain stimulation, energy entrainment, holograms, talks about the conscious matrix. It's really crazy. Really crazy, guys. This is why I've been doing a lot of research on this, and how can I say it? Even in our book, The Prosperity Bible, that's a good book to read because it talks about the brain and how the brain, people underestimate our consciousness, and so it's like I can't describe it in words how just big this goes. How the government is actually trying to dumb you down and keep you in the same place so then they can make you a good slave and keep you in the same race in the cycle to make you a good worker, a good slave worker.
Yeah.
Because literally, Andrew Tate talks about how we're literally just slave workers. You get me? And it makes sense. And it makes sense. From the educational system to when we grow up to have a 9-to-5 job. And we were talking earlier about how people usually stick to one type of career, one source of income. But guess what? At the end of it, you still have mortgage to pay, you still have a car. So it cuts it basically in half, leaving you with what? No money.
Yeah.
And so it's just that. This is really interesting to me that even the government would acknowledge that we're energies and that this is what I kind of was thinking, that we not only are of this physical realm, but we are also, spiritual. We also have the conscious mind, and that, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
I mean, while you're thinking, so you hear saying all the time, your mind is this mind is a powerful place, right? It is your strongest tool, but it is also your biggest limiter because it limits itself. And if you're not aware of that, and you don't even know how to start taking off those limits or breaking those limits, you're just gonna stay in this whole little mind zone boggle, whatever. One thing that I seen earlier about Tate, of all things, actually talking about it earlier about how you can control your mind and you can become more conscious of everything your mind remembers because it keeps documents. Your mind keeps record of everything that happens, everything it thinks and does. You can become more conscious of even your unconscious movements and thoughts. By simply starting off of when you wake up in the morning, remember what was the last thought that went through your head before you fell asleep. Simple things like that will start making you more conscious and more aware of things that memories will start unlocking, things like that. Right.
And I'm basically talking about this because, as a person, I don't want to be stuck in just one place.
Yeah.
I want to grow as a person, And so I feel like they hide a lot of things from us. And there's a lot of questions that I have. You get me? And so when I found these files, it really brought up more questions to why, good example was the Watergate scandal. In the 1970s, the building had burned down containing thousands of files on hypnosis, but the thing is that they didn't secure 20,000 of those files in the right place, so they were leaked out. And now guess what we have? And some of it is hypnosis and transcendental meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it talks about how we can become a better being at a higher conscious level. And basically, I'm saying this because I want to be better as a person. I want to elevate. I don't want to stay in the same place. So that being said, if I can do a lot of research on the mind, because the mind is the most powerful substance in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because all it is it's electric, but just like the heart, it's electric, just vibrating. So this is why I say, even the music that we listen to, I was talking to Anthony, he's a good friend, basically, that even in the music, they have distorted the frequency to where how you're listening to it makes you more stressed and more anxious. Isn't that funny? Especially in the rap and hip hop community.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to show you, even at the top, why they don't even let their kids listen to that kind of music.
Yeah.
You get me?
Absolutely. I think it's important to realize as well, we know nothing, right? Not just us three, but nobody knows anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even the reason there's even research like this being done is because we know nothing. So what you have to do is just take what you have given. We still know nothing, right? Even with these files, all that stuff. We know nothing.
Exactly.
But the purpose is to research this stuff so at least you can maximize the knowledge you can have, right? It's like, why would you, we don't know anything, so why would I research this stuff? Like, we still don't know anything. It's important to at least, even if this is 1/1,000,000% of what the brain has capable, at least now you are aware of the knowledge we do have as humans, so you can maximize that use. We have no idea how the subconscious mind works. We have no idea about anything. But at least having the knowledge that you can grab from a bunch of different sources and your experience, at least you can maximize your life in that way.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit and we know nothing still,
Yep.
you can at least maximize what you're doing. And I think it does have something to say. If the government is pouring millions of dollars into this research, you can do all the research you want. It won't even tap the budget the government has for this type of stuff.
Right.
So if they're doing this, there's got to be a reason that they're doing it. It's because they have the same questions we do. They just have the resources to get it done.
Yeah.
Right?
They want to keep you in chains.
Yeah.
Which is
so
gonna lead to more questions.
they just have the resources to get what they need to have done.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just want to investigate in this so then I can become a better person. And it talks about, becoming a better person as just an energy being.
Yeah.
Because that's literally all we are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? It's very hard to change the world. It's very hard to do anything like of grand scale. So you might as well just do your own research so that you can impact yourself in your life, make sure you're living the best life possible, but also just those directly close to you, inform them or have the biggest impact on them.
Yeah.
Because hardly anyone impacts the world in a complete sense, right? So you might as well, rather than overwhelming yourself with all of this, oh my God, I have to impact so many people. Oh, if I'm not impacting the world, I'm useless.
Yeah.
No, you just impact the people
That's
around
right.
you. You make sure you can use your life to the best so that at least you can live happily, even if it's not in some grand like scale. You're still you're on your deathbed and you're like, I lived my life to my fullest because at least I knew the most I can. At least I knew, right? So I don't know. I think people just stress themselves with like grand scale stuff. It's like, you just worry about yourself. Like, you don't have to be.
You don't have to influence people. You don't have to convince people of the same ideologies that, a person would have. Me personally, I would just inform you guys, and to the person that feels stuck, just if they want to research, it'll be there at the link in the bio down below. But other than that, that's basically, it comes from, the bottom of my heart, just deeply wanted to help
Exactly.
somebody out.
You can think about this and the conspiracy theories and stuff. oh my God, the government hates me, that sort of thing. Maybe they do, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't want to overwhelm yourself with all these conspiracy theories, you don't have to, right? You can just have a knowledge of what you want to know and live your life the way you want to. If you find this stuff overwhelming, then I would say maybe look into it a little bit because I don't think it's that overwhelming.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even if this stuff is for a bigger reason, oh, the government's trying to control you, that sort of thing, at least you can live your life to your fullest and say, you know, even if they did control me, whatever, at least I lived the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And honestly, I just think regardless, I just think it's good to ask questions, right? Don't just, live your life like you want to, but don't live like a mindless whatever, drone, whatever. Because if nobody ever asked questions, we wouldn't be here.
The problem with this route, right, talking conspiracy theories, and we don't, us three at least, right? Some people on Reddit I think are different. I don't keep it stacked, but they
They're a different beast.
Reddit is a different beast. They they overwhelm themselves with the conspiracy theories and that life sucks and stuff to the point where down this path of questions is nihilism. Nothing matters. God isn't real. That's what nihilism is, right? It's like negativity. Nothing matters. God isn't real. Like that sort of thing. That's nihilism.
So influenced in the United States.
Yeah.
You get me? And for the longest, I felt confused and lost where, how, why, this and that, But as I started learning more about the mind, I was able to control how I felt. Not only that, but I was able to gain more knowledge on, just myself and, how we're energies and beings of energy. You get me?
And see, the thing is, questions lead to more questions. Very few questions are answered. But then you also hear the saying, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you go looking for. Because those answers may not be what you like. It's not going to be what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's probably where you face nihilism.
Exactly.
You got to be really careful not to go down that route. Because, ask questions, keep looking, because they're going to lead to more questions. But don't let it make you avoid.
That's the exact point I'm trying to make. It's like you don't want to ruin your own life because you keep asking questions. Questions are very good. That's how you elevate intelligence, that sort of thing. You want questions, but as soon as you get to the point where you start thinking that life doesn't matter, that it's not worth it, you need to stop asking questions because you're overwhelming yourself and it's really not that deep.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, right? We live on this planet. Our generation might live to 110 on average. You know what I mean? Because the way medical's going, that sort of stuff. Yeah. We might live very long. Even if we live long, 110 years, let's say, even though I think that is a overestimate, right? Let's say on average we live 100. Yeah. That is nothing, right? And you can think about that in a bad way or a good way. At the end of the day, your lifespan doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of everything, so you might as well just enjoy your life the way you want to, impact the people around you, and not dive so far deep where the last 60 years of your life, you absolutely hate it. Yeah. Or even worse, you end up ending it early.
Yeah.
There's, you know what I mean? There's no, I don't know. It's just like some conspiracy theory routes, they go too deep.
Yeah.
And then, well, now you're really screwed because...
Yeah, no, what I'm trying to get at is that basically, just like words are manifestation.
Yeah,
absolutely. What you say comes into existence, and not only that, but what you tell yourself, your subconscious mind is listening.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling depressed, anxiety, all these things, you could say, "I'm strong. I feel good." And you can basically trick your subconscious mind. That's what basically hypnosis is that, if you listen to yourself long enough, or you have a hypnotist, try to hypnotize you or anything like that, you can change the way you are. You're not stuck. You're not stuck with these people telling you, take these antidepressants.
Yeah.
You're not stuck having to do that. You can change the way you are with the power of the word. You get me?
Yeah. I think the subconscious is the next step. Actually, see, this kind of goes back to the point we made about black holes.
Okay.
We discovered it too early. I think we are so far away from understanding the brain, if we ever do understand it.